Hey, I'm Andrew with Omaha Outdoors. In this video, I want to show you how to spot the differences between a real and a fake Trijicon MRO and a real and a fake Trijicon RMR. Let's get started. First, the MRO. Here is a real one. When you pick it up and you compare it to a fake, you're probably going to notice that this fake has kind of silver colored adjustment mechanism and this real one has a black color. And that's a really obvious difference, but it's also one that could change tomorrow. So for fakes that are currently out there, yeah, maybe silver is a good giveaway, but maybe someone watches this video, decides to change their manufacturing process and make a black adjustment mechanism. So don't rely on the big, huge, obvious differences like that. You want to look for the details. And some of the details actually relate to those adjustment mechanisms. So when we look at this fake, and we look at how that adjustment mechanism sits, whether it's the windage or the elevation, how it sits in the body of the optic, this one, it sits at a bit of an angle, it's not perfectly centered. So the way that fits is just as important as the color, if not more. Moving on to the body of the optic, you're going to see on a real MRO, you're going to see forge marks. This is a forged aluminum body, it's very strong. You'll see Trijicon MRO embossed here on the side, and it'll say, it'll have a little copyright and trademark notes, and on the opposite side it'll have Made in USA embossed into the body. On this fake one, there's no trademark, no copyright, somewhat ironic given that it's fake, and no Made in USA embossed in the body. Another thing that I noticed right away, strangely enough, this is the first thing I noticed, is this font. So on the fake here, it says 1 click equals 1/2 MOA, and this font is just generic Chinese instruction manual font. You have seen this before, I guarantee it. Some product you ordered off Amazon at 2 in the morning, showed up with a manual you couldn't really understand. It was in very poor English. It was written in this font. You will know it when you see it. This real MRO does not have generic Chinese instructional manual font for the laser marking. It has more of just a standard English block letters. You'll see that right away. The laser marks for the brightness adjustment appear on the cap where the battery also sits. It's on the outer, the raised portion of the knurled edge on this cap here, and the letters, the numbers are larger. On the fake, the adjustment laser markings are actually on the relieved portion of this knurled area, and as a result they are smaller. When we take this battery cap off and get the battery out of the fake, we see it says battery CR2032, and again the font is kind of a giveaway to me. That almost looks like Comic Sans or something silly. The real MRO does not have any sort of marking, Comic Sans or otherwise, for the battery. Now, there are obviously internal differences as well between these optics, and some of them are actually pretty easy to spot right off the bat. The first thing is that the emitter, that is what makes you see the red dot, the thing that puts out the red dot, on the real MRO is up here at about the 1030 position if you're looking at a clock face, basically upper left if you're looking at it from the rear, or upper right if you're looking at it from the front. And so correspondingly, the objective lens of this optic is sort of canted a little bit, so the left side is going to be in front of the right side. Now this fake one, the emitter's down at the bottom of the optic, and as a result the objective lens is canted just straight up and down at the top of it, sort of tilted back. That's because it has to bounce that laser dot right back at your eye, which is directly behind this lens here. So some fake MROs have that emitter in the right position, some do not, but all real MROs have the emitter up at that 1030 position. Moving on to the RMR. This is a fake, these two are real. Some easy ways to tell right off the bat. Again, I go straight to the fonts. The font here on this fake, it says 1 click equals 1 MOA. They all say that, but the font is consistent for both the letters and the numbers on these real RMRs. On this fake RMR, the actual size of the letters is smaller for where it says MOA versus where it says click. That's another giveaway. Trijicon's not going to do that. A fake definitely will have something like that. When you look at this adjustment mechanism here on the fake, first off, it's an Allen adjustment. Real ones do not have Allen adjustments. They have something that's designed to be, maybe you could adjust it with some improvised tool in the field sort of thing as opposed to an Allen wrench. But this one, if you look at the adjustment itself, there's more of a gap on one side than the other, so that means this screw does not fit in the body perfectly. Trijicon is very proud of the way that real RMRs fit together, and the same goes with the MRO. So these screws are going to fit very nicely, both the elevation and the windage screws are going to fit very nicely within the body of the optic, and you're not going to see that on a fake unless you get lucky. Something that you would notice if you're comparing a real and a fake side by side is the thickness of that glass. A real one's gonna have thicker glass, a fake one will have thinner glass. If you only have a fake or a real one to look at, it can be kind of hard to tell the difference, but that's definitely something to look out for. On the underside, we can see here that there are different designs for the way the battery interfaces with the optic itself. This is an RMR2. This one's specifically ruggedized for handgun use, and some of the changes include the inside of the optic, obviously. And we see this cool little ninja star design there on the bottom. I don't know what it's called, I just call it a ninja star. It looks like a ninja star to me. I'm told that this is gonna be very difficult to fake. The older RMR, this one here, this is a real RMR, one of the original versions, does not have a cool ninja star design, but if you just look at the electronics here, this looks nice. It looks nicely done, it fits properly. This looks kind of cheap. It's sort of pulling out on one side as opposed to the other side. When you look at these and something doesn't seem like it fits right, or it just looks kind of cheap, that's your inner voice telling you something's wrong, and your inner voice is correct. Something is definitely wrong. You see something like this or like this, you know this is a quality product. You see something like this reminds you of cheap garbage, which is exactly what this is. So this is important whether you are an end user, a consumer looking to buy one of these optics for yourself, or if you work in a store that handles returns. For example, let's say someone buys this MRO. This is a Radian mount. It's not from Trijicon. It's a good quality mount. Not included, but for the purposes of this demonstration, someone buys from your store an MRO, a real MRO, comes in a real box with all the paperwork. They take it home. They come back with this in the box. Same box, same paperwork, same receipt. They say, hey, I want to return this for a full refund. I didn't like it, didn't want it, whatever. You say, sure, here, we want your business. We're trying to help you out. You give them their money back. You have just lost money because you took back this fake. And this is something that can happen to you more often than you would think. This was purchased by someone who was thinking he was buying a real optic. It was returned to Trijicon, and they were somewhat impressed with how well it approximated a real MRO. But again, there are obvious differences, and it won't perform like a real MRO, but it will look like one to the untrained eye. And that's what we're trying to get you to do here, is to train yourself to tell the difference. Again, look at the details. Some of these things might change over time, a couple years from now. Someone might have watched this video and made changes to their fake to make it look more like a real one, but there will still be differences that you'll be able to spot, whether it's fit and finish, the forge marks, the way the adjustment mechanism fits, things like that cannot be copied so easily. And this is important to look out for. You need to look out for yourself, or if you're a store, you need to look out for the bottom line, and to look out for the people who are purchasing from you, because someone else might come along. This optic goes back out on the shelf, someone else comes along, buys it, they think they bought a real one, now they're mad at you. So protect yourself, look out for yourself, know what you're selling and know what you're buying.